This resource is a kind of how-to guide about 3 different widely used tools or writing strategies that can help you make and more easily keep your commitments to reading, writing, and thinking during your postgraduate studies. If you are a typical student, whether you are studying full-time or part-time, you probably have other work to do, paid or unpaid, and you may also be caring for children or other family members. Having so many demands on your time and headspace means that making and keeping a regular, steady commitment to focusing on your postgraduate research can be a challenge. Too often we start the week with the best intentions. Perhaps you have promised yourself you will spend a whole day or more writing chapter 3, or you will read 10 papers this week, or you will write 1,000 words a day. And yet by the time the weekend rolls around, you may well have fallen short of these lofty goals because life got in the way and because you battled to juggle all the demands on your time. If this sounds in any way familiar, know that you are not alone. What you need, what all researchers need, are accessible, practical tools you can use as and when needed to enable you to fit reading and writing time into every week of your postgraduate journey in a way that makes this time spent productive. What follows are 3 tools you could consider using to enhance your own time use and productivity. The first tool that underpins the others in this resource is known as the Pomodoro Technique. There is a website resource which details the use of this tool, the link to which is underneath the video on this page. This is a basic summary of how the tool could work for you. The basic premise of the technique is to focus on working in connected 25-minute bursts of concentration. Each 25-minute period is termed a Pomodoro. After each 25-minute burst, you take a 5-minute break before working on another Pomodoro. 2 Pomodoros connected together like this is an hour of focused reading or writing, and you can get a great deal done in a week if you can do 2 Pomodoros first thing in the morning, before you open email or tackle other tasks on your to-do list. Even better would be to connect 4 Pomodoros together into 2 hours of work, interspersed with short breaks to make a cup of tea or use the bathroom or send a quick text message or quick email. You will almost certainly have other thoughts and concerns pop into your head while you are working through each Pomodoro. For example, write to my supervisor about the feedback she owes me, or call the plumber about the leaking sink. Don't try too hard to force these thoughts away. Keep a notepad near you, pause for 5 seconds to quickly scribble a note to yourself for later, and go back to the reading and writing activity that you're working on. When you pause for your 5-minute break, you can attend to the note if it can be resolved in 5 minutes. Otherwise, you can come back to it when you take your longer break after 2, 3, or 4 Pomodoros have been completed. You can download Pomodoro timers from the Google Play or App stores. There are several free ones. Or you can go to your nearest home store and purchase a timer that can be set to ring after 25 and 5 minutes. The main thing to find is a timer that will ring to alert you that it is time to stop. Try to get up and move around and stretch in each 5-minute break. And if you can, take a longer walk or stretch after your Pomodoros are all finished. Sitting for too long can be bad for your back and neck. The next tool is called Prewriting and uses a writing technique developed in the 1980s by a writing specialist in the United States called Peter Albo. The basic premise is to use this timed approach to writing to literally free your thoughts from the shackles we usually impose on them. By this is meant that you should allow yourself either for 5 or 7-minute bursts to ignore spelling, punctuation, proper sentence construction, or any notion of the right kinds of things to write about. Rather, you should focus on your thoughts and getting them out of your head and onto the page in whatever form they may take. It is a form of brainstorming where you let your ideas flow without judging them until you have written them down. This is often a useful tool if you are starting a piece of writing but are struggling to find an entry point, or after you have done a set of readings and would like to begin to write a chunk of a literature review or theory or methodology chapter. You will again need a timer, but this time you are only going to write for 5 or 7 minutes. Choose a topic to focus on. For example, if you are beginning a proposal, it might be helpful to brainstorm in writing about your research problem. If you are starting the methodology chapter, it might be helpful to free write a bit about your research design or your rationale for choosing the method you are using. Set your timer, pick up your pen or settle at your keyboard, and in your research journal or in a Word document, just write for the allotted time. The only real rule with free writing is not to stop writing until the timer pings. Don't stop to prejudge the usefulness or rightness of your ideas or the form of your sentences and so on. If you can create a few connected topics, for example, my research problem as free write 1, my research questions as free write 2, limitations of these as free write 3, and an overview of the literature I will need to review and write about as free write 4, and you gave yourself 7 minutes per topic, you could spend a very productive and useful half an hour writing on your proposal or introductory thesis chapter. Some of what you have written may be cut or edited out later on, but you will have a base on which to build. The more you write like this just for yourself and make it part of your day, the easier you will find all the other writing you have to do as you go. Finally, we have shut up and write sessions. These are a popular tool for writers all over the world. If you are on Twitter, for example, you can probably join a virtual group that will meet once a week in your time zone to write. These virtual groups are fine if you are highly motivated to keep a meeting with invisible strangers once a week without pushing it aside to do other things. Most of us, though, would do better with a physical, face-to-face commitment. The basic premise here is to meet with other writers at least once a week, preferably at a set time on a set day, and write in the same place, but without distractions.